Good Sunday morning, unsportsmanlike conduct fans. What an ending to that 2018 NCAA tournament. Okay, this is what I'm always confused by with the University of Michigan and their fan base. Listen, this is the lineup of teams that they faced during the tournament. Montana, Houston, Texas A&M, Florida State, and Loyola of Chicago. And I don't know how many of you paid attention to this, but there was a free pizza giveaway for the 16 seed beating the 1 seed. And so me and a friend of mine, of course, we went to Little Caesars to get our free pizza, and it was on Championship Monday, and all of the Michigan fans were out. They, of course, oh my God, every trailer park in mid-Michigan was buzzing with Go Blue nonsense that day. It was incredible. But I'm looking at these guys, and they really, this is my problem with the University of Michigan and its fan base. You are so delusional. Like, okay, so what team in that Montana, Houston, Texas A&M, Florida State, Loyola of Chicago had you believing that you were going to be able to beat a powerhouse program? At some point, you don't just get a free run in the NCAA tournament. You got free 5 games. And, you line up and beat the bad teams that were in front of you, but let's not get carried away. They only put that name on 1 trophy. That's why you never win. That's why your name's never on trophies, because they only put it on good. The names of good teams are on those trophies, not the names of the University of Michigan and its embarrassing basketball program that nobody even knew that they had a program. I didn't know. I literally didn't know. They beat Michigan State twice this year, and I'm just like, who's on the University of Michigan's team that could play at Michigan State? Just give me the name. Just give me one name. Because Wagner and Abdul Rahman and Duncan and all these guys, listen, Michigan State has walk-ons, literally guys that didn't even get scholarships that are better than those guys. They won 2 times this year, so it's obviously there's something going on between Beilein and Izzo, and he's getting out coached, but player for player, Jesus. And this might be the ugliest team I've ever seen. Like it is reminiscent of those 80s Boston Celtics teams. Jesus. Dennis Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, good grief. These guys were the ugliest team in America until the 2017-18 University of Michigan basketball team. These guys, look, they made it all to the Final Four and all the way to the championship game, and the girls at Michigan were like, I'll pay you not to bother us. You know what I'm saying? This team is terrible, and they're ugly, and their fans are ugly. I wish they would just go away. Jeez. So anyway, I said last week, I told you guys, you chill out, man. You got to pump your brakes a little bit. Michigan State fans and fans of college basketball, relax, man. Michigan don't have nothing coming. They're awful. You just don't worry about it. And I told you the final score would be 89-70. It was in fact 79-62. So it was a throttling either way. I gave it 19, and people are like, "What are you talking about? There's no way it could be that." Man, stop. People just see, this is what happens. You get caught up in the hype of the media, and the media has a job to do. They have to sell the product, and the product was the tournament. So they get on there and they talk about how great Michigan is. In fact, they are not great. And instead of listening to them, just look at the product that's in front of you. They're an awful team. Villanova is so much more advanced than them, and here's a shout out, man. There's 3 active coaches who have multiple national championships in college basketball. That would be Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski, Roy Williams down in North Carolina, and now you can add Jay Wright to that list. Jay Wright is putting together a program in Villanova. And I have to say, if he wins another one, you've got to add his name to the blue blood list because they are making moves and they're doing things. 2 championships in 3 years for Jay Wright. So something to keep an eye on in Philly, that's for sure. They're really putting it together in Villanova. So 89 or 79-62 is your final. Michigan fans, back to work. You hear that bell going off. Back to work, greeters. People still need to be greeted at Walmart, you losers. So playtime's over. The University of Michigan doesn't have anything coming. They do have, I got to be honest with you, they do have a top flight recruiting class coming in next season. And as does Michigan State, but at this point it doesn't seem to matter because you have 2 lottery picks on that team and a third who should be a first round pick, and they got pushed around twice by nobodies. And actually, Beeline's got somebodies coming in next year. So Michigan State and specifically Coach Izzo are going to have to figure this out. What's going on with these teams? You have a lot of guys that is coming back from Michigan's team as well. Now, don't misconstrue what I'm trying to say. That a lot of these guys will eventually be they'll be the ones collecting the carts at Myers that you see in the parking lot someday. You know, they go from the University of Michigan basketball to getting the carts in Myers parking lot. But they have some players coming in next year, and that kid Johns out of East Lansing, ooh, that's a big boy. Now, of course, Michigan State has better players coming in. Of course, Lawyer out of Clarkston, the point guard who won Mr. Basketball. Shout out. Love to have you on this show before you get too big. But Michigan is a force. John Beilein is a force. Michigan isn't a force. John Beilein is a force. And at some point, one of these big jobs comes calling, and I don't understand why he's staying in Michigan. Is like, well, I guess I can just stay off the radar because nobody pays attention to University of Michigan football or basketball. If I go to, I don't know, Southern Cal or UCLA or a big-time program like that, then there's a lot more that's going to be expected. So I really don't know how Michigan is retaining John Beilein, but I got to say, he's one of the top coaches, top minds in all of basketball. So it's a problem. He is a problem for Michigan State. As long as Coach Izzo remains stubborn and refuses to change, we've got some hard times coming for Michigan State basketball. Now, switching gears, the 2018 Michigan State football spring game was yesterday. And judging by the attendance, most of you know it was pretty flipping cold out there. But for those of us that were able to brave the conditions, my hat's off to you. A couple things I want to say about this 2018 spring game. But there were some players that literally jumped off the field in that game yesterday. And I got one, before I even get into this, I want Spartan fans and stop. If you're a fan of Michigan State, I want you to really stop and listen to this part right here. There is a kid that I want you to familiarize his name with. It's Connor Hayward. Now, I am going on the record saying this right now. What I saw yesterday, LJ Scott has had a decent career at Michigan State. Nothing that anybody's going to be like, whoa, this guy's got to be drafted high. Nothing like that. He has had a decent career at Michigan State. Let me tell you something about Connor Hayward. This is a 2011-12 type atmosphere right now. So you have LJ Scott, who is the Eddie Baker to Connor Haywood's Le'Veon Bell. That is the difference between these two players. And I'm not just saying, I'm not trying to run LJ Scott down. I'm telling you that Connor Haywood is that much more talented. When he hits the hole, boom, he is in the hole. He's got quick feet. He rotates his hips. Everything that you want from a running back, Connor Heyward has it. I didn't see him catching any balls out of the backfield yesterday, so I don't know about that. I saw blitz pick up one time, but it's a spring game, so they're not really going hard to quarterback. Those might be issues that I don't have inside information on. But let me tell you this: as far as a pure running back goes, Connor Heyward is miles ahead of L.J. Scott. He is a better running back than L.J. Scott. Period. End of the story. It's not even close. So keep your eyes on that, Spartan fans. There might be a running back controversy in East Lansing. Connor Heyward. I don't know why. I do know that Coach D'Antonio is very loyal to his players, and L.J. Scott won a Big Ten championship, was the running back of record when they went to the college football playoffs. All that said, if you want the best 11 players on the field, Connor Heyward is the best running back on Michigan State's roster. Now, Ladarius Jefferson's coming in next year, and from everything that I've seen, he is going to be moved from quarterback, which he ran at Muskegon, to running back at Michigan State. Probably redshirted, because what I saw yesterday, barring injuries, Connor Heyward is the best running back on Michigan State's roster, and it isn't even close. Another position, with all due respect to Connor Cook and Kirk Cousins, Drew Stanton, Brian Hoyer, all quarterbacks that are in the NFL right now. Rocky Lombardi was the green team quarterback yesterday, and man, he made some throws that I have not ever seen a Michigan State quarterback throw. That should give Spartan fans reason to celebrate right there, because I'm telling you, now I don't know, there's a lot of things that go into making a decision of who's going to be a starter. Maybe we're not, we don't know the playbook. Maybe we take too many chances. I don't know what it is that separates Brian Lewerke from Rocky Lombardi, but I'm telling you what I saw yesterday. Rocky Lombardi has all of the tools. He has the skills. He has what it takes. He's got the it factor to be the quarterback at Michigan State. Now, people have left, Messiah Weaver and all these guys that are transferring, and it was because they weren't going to get on the field, and I understand that. It's just business. It's not personal. I really hope that Rocky Lombardi stays at Michigan State, because there is only upside to him and his team, and they're going to rally around him. Believe it or not, and I am not kidding you right now, last Friday I was at the stadium, and I was taking a tour of the locker rooms, and I ran into Tony Lombardi, which is Rocky's dad, and we spent about an hour in the practice field, in the practice building, talking about the offense and about how it's changed up over the last couple of years. And it was interesting to have inside information, which I, was all off the record, so I will not be sharing any of that today, unfortunately. But there was some things on there, that he said that was very pointed to me. One of them being that the reason that Michigan State's been getting the caliber and type of quarterbacks that they've been getting is because a lot of kids from around the country see that pro-style offense that they run is conducive to them getting into the NFL. It's imperative. So these parents are looking at this like, how is the best route for my child to get to the NFL and make millions of dollars? Well, Michigan State is definitely one of the leading because of the pro-style offense that they run. Well, they start apparently tinkering with the offense, and that has some players and parents not happy about that, And when you have the quality of quarterbacks and players that have been coming to Michigan State, and then you start fine-tuning some things, next thing you know, they don't get those type of players. And I'm a little concerned about that. I don't know. I'm not privy to all of the background information at Michigan State University. Contrary to what many of you might believe, I am not. But I did get a chance to talk with somebody who does have that type of information, and I hope that Coach D'Antonio and the rest of the coaching staff at Michigan State get back to